Hello, welcome to You Haven't Blanked That. I'm Forrest.
And this is Jimmy.
Hey Jimmy, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Alright, so...
Merry Christmas!
So this week we watched a Christmas movie.
Christmas time is here.
You don't like that song, you can't fucking sing that.
Christmas time is near. Oh, go ahead.
Anyway, this week we watched
It's a very suicidal song, by the way.
It is not.
Go ahead. What did we watch this week, Forrest?
A Bill Murray classic, Scrooged.
Scrooged.
Directed by Richard Donner.
Richard Donner was the guy that did Superman.
And he did Goonies.
Superman 2. Oh, yeah, and Goonies.
And he did the Lethal Weapon movies.
Did we talk about that? I don't think we mentioned that he did the Lethal Weapon movies.
I thought people knew this.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
So anyways, in this modern take on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Frank Cross, Bill Murray, is a widely successful television executive whose cold ambition and curmudgeonly nature has driven away the love of his life, Karen Allen. After firing the staff member Elliot Loudermilk, Bobcat, on Christmas Eve, Frank is visited by...
What's Bobcat's last name, Jimmy?
Goldthwait. Goldthwait?
There's not a syllable in between gold and weight?
Goldthwait.
Goldthwait?
Goldthwait. On Christmas Eve, Frank is visited by a series of ghosts who give him a chance to reevaluate his actions and right the wrongs of his past.
You know, I think...
Kind of, basically, this is just a prequel to what would be Quantum Leap.
Okay. I'm going to just say something real quick. I think in the new year, I'm going to leave you reading this like a third grader.
You should.
Instead of editing it to make it sound great, I think in the new year, I'm just going to leave
just let my bullshit reading.
And then just
giggling.
Just giggling like a schoolgirl.
Bobcat. Because I saw the last name, I'm like, skip the last name.
Goldthwait?
Goldith.
Anyway, so Jimmy,
you know what my favorite? Wait, hold on. What is your favorite
version of Christmas Carol?
Yeah,
this one's up there, but my favorite, and it's only because I watched it a million times as a child, and I haven't watched it this Christmas yet, but I'm sure I will. Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen well, you know, I was really into DuckTales, and they were pushing Scrooge McDuck like really hard at that time.
Uh-huh.
Like that comes out in '86, and you get DuckTales like right after that.
Yeah.
So they were like, I don't think they had really done Scrooge McDuck before that. Really,
he was peppered in here and there on little things.
No, I think you're thinking of Professor Von Drake.
Oh, I am thinking of Professor Von Drake.
I think they finally, because Scrooge would be in the comics.
Yeah.
But I don't think he popped up in any of the cartoons until that, and like he took off, and they started. That's when they did DuckTales and.
Ooh. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
But my favorite one is I saw a very lively version of it at Knott's Berry Farm at the Birdcage Theater. Like years ago, and it happened to be my favorite one, like ever production of like A Christmas Carol.
They're doing it this year. Can I tell you what they're doing? Because they did the Knott's thing this year before they shut Knott's down like a week ago.
Oh, it's down again.
It's down again, yeah. But what they were doing is I think they were doing that every year.
Yeah.
With the Christmas Carol, and they do it in the Birdcage. I think what they were doing is they were having it done through the buildings in Ghost Town. So you go to one part of
that's
Ghost Town.
super cool.
So you go to one part and it's Scrooge, and he's out there and he's doing crowd work. And he's like Scrooge in the audience and doing all that. And then you go,
give me your phone, okay, bitch.
Not like that. But he's being Scrooge, bah humbug, fuck Christmas, and all this, like fear. Fuck Christmas. He's a fear fan. And so he's doing that, and then you go to all the different buildings, and they tell the story that way.
But
you see each of the ghosts, and then the last ghost doesn't come out till night. The ghost of
the
future comes out. Doesn't come out till night, and it's in the graveyard.
Oh, that's rad, dude!
So they do it throughout
Damn,
the whole...
I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah, we didn't see it because like none of the kids were into that.
Yeah, I remember just being at Knott's like years ago randomly, and I had nowhere to do. I was meeting people, but they were on other rides, so I'm like, oh, I'll just watch.
Probably not go to Birdcage.
Yeah, so I went down there, and they did the Christmas Carol, and like the cast was amazing, and it was such a fun, and they were making jokes, and like it was such a great like. It was probably one of the best productions I've seen of like a Christmas Carol. That's actually my all-time favorite. So like, I don't go to Knott's often, but when I do, and especially around Christmas, I'll purposely make time to see that.
I like the Muppets one too.
The Muppets one's really good.
Muppets one when I was like in the third grade is when that shit came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that one.
I'm trying to think of what other like big ones. I mean, like every show did its version of a Christmas Carol because why not? It's just
like Roseanne, but Roseanne did theirs, but they did theirs at Halloween. Remember that one?
Oh, kind of. I have the Roseanne's all her Halloween specials on one DVD.
That's one of them. Yeah, but that's what they did. Is that was they always did a big Halloween show on Roseanne.
Yeah,
and that's what they did that year. Was they did a
Christmas Carol
because she didn't want to go out, and they're like, you're gonna not be fun anymore.
Because Christmas carols or Christmas is usually a time for ghost stories, and like I don't know where that slowly started going away, but
why is Christmas time for ghost stories? Let's
no,
heard that, no?
You know, it's in some like Christmas songs where it's like they gather around the fire and tell ghost stories by the.
Which Christmas song does that?
Oh my god, hold on, I'm gonna Google this because there's.
Christmas songs. The most wonderful time of the year where they kind of mention it there.
Yeah, but like it's always because like it's basically it's the longest night of the year, it's the coldest, and like it's one of those where I guess all the ghosts spookiness got like pulled over to Halloween because the only ghosts in like when you watch anything now is the Christmas Carol, which is just like the four ghosts.
Yeah, Marley.
Yeah,
Marley included.
Yeah. But
so what did you think of this version? Because you've been kind of like you kind of don't like 80s Bill Murray, I'm learning.
Yeah, and it's weird, but like I don't know, like this movie I remember it being like visually dark. And a lot of movies, especially in this era, just loved heavy grays and just like marble and just weird, just angled stuff.
That weird.
The crematory, the funeral at the very end with like
the funeral at the very end is very Tim Burton-y, but it's not really because I'm trying to
because even that and Gremlins 2 is the same way where it's just that like corporate. But
it's not even really because
dark gray,
the only thing
dark
Tim Burton
colors
had made at that point. I mean, this is before Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but so like that always kind of just anything that very dark colors and they try to make it too, I don't know, like corporate world. Just it as a child, I never liked it. I always felt uncomfortable, and like we even getting my a job like at like the company I used to work with, it was very much that dark color gray. So like it always
I don't see that like
you don't see that anymore. But
no, because my office is very bright and white and there's colors.
Yeah,
there's a lot of colors everywhere.
And it was like, but like I think that as a child, like it intimidated me, especially as an adult. Like working at the company, I was seeing it too. It also intimidated me too. I'm like, do I really want to be here? It makes me feel uncomfortable. But all that aside, I remember seeing the like a commercial or something about a clip of Bill Murray and the Grim Reaper, and that used to scare the fuck out of me. Christmas Future, yeah. So I'm like, oh, so as a child, I never wanted to see it. I'm like, no. And then as an adult, I'm like, I've seen the story enough times.
It's a creepy version. You know, it is a bit, and it's awesome. It's kind of got a horror. It's got a horror.
Pretty dope though.
It's great
Because like, awesome. You open up like his robe, and then it's just a rib cage, and then the damn souls are crying inside the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy, and especially I like the TV as a face, because that's a pretty cool. Especially when he reflects it back onto him. To Bill, and you see his face, and he runs away because he's reflected upon his own death. I'm like, dude, that's fucking rad. I love that.
Yeah.
But especially because he's in television, and so it's like reflecting back his own fear to himself because it's entertaining. Like, so there's a lot of ties that I really liked. But this movie, like, overall, like, I fucking loved it.
It's fucking great, dude.
I fucking loved it.
I'm happy you find like an 80s Bill Murray movie.
Oh, dude, it's good, and he's so good. There's one part where I think he kind of loses me, like at the very end with his big old speech.
Here's what I figure out. Well, you don't like the big speech at the end?
I do, but like a part of it, he just kind of like.
Well, here's what do you figure out? The thing I figured out about this movie this time around is that as he lightens up. I mean, the tone lightens up.
Yeah.
But the movie gets more silly comedy-wise. Did you notice that?
Because it was super dark, super intense, and like, first off, let's talk about how great fucking Lee Majors was.
Oh, Lee Majors in The Night the Reindeer Died?
Yeah, that was fucking rad. It's like, no, Santa, you're going out the back door because we need you. It's like, oh, Lee Majors, you're on the good list. And he's got that little smirk and he runs off. That's fucking rad. And then
Robert Goulet.
Yeah, Robert Goulet's Christmas in the Swamps. But the Cajun Christmas. But the thing too, it's like
by the way, Goulet has to have like the best sense of humor. Must have had to have had the best sense of humor because he was on The Simpsons and he's like,
yeah, that same joke is like
it's kind of the same joke. But did you ever see the Blue Diamond almond commercial?
No.
So it was Blue Diamond almonds.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you got to be careful because Robert Goulet will come to get those. And you're like, what? And all of a sudden, Robert Goulet coming in like a spider comes to try to get these almonds. And it's a real fucking commercial.
I gotta look it up later.
It's him just trying to be all like, and then like they close him and he goes, and he like backs up.
That's funny.
And it was so good. And that was like kind of towards the end. Like that was in the last like 5-ish years of his life.
Okay.
So like I think he had like a really good sense of humor about himself, just based off of that. But yeah, it's Frank Cross.
Yep.
And he's a big TV executive.
The youngest TV
executive.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do the big live production of
A Christmas Carol,
which is very kind of prophetic as to what they do now because they actually do those.
Yeah.
Now.
And then,
did you ever watch any of those?
No, I don't. But I know that they do them. But they had everybody because they had what's his name. For MASH, what's his name? God damn
Jamie Farr and Buddy Hackett.
Yeah.
But like,
and what's her face is like Tiny Tim.
But it's like, but think about the way they cast it. Like that's how they cast these things now.
Yeah, especially like.
Have you ever watched any of them? Because I like a train wreck.
The last TV Christmas special I watched was an older one for Halloween, and that was what's his name?
No, not even those ones. I'm talking like. We're gonna do a story like a musical live on TV.
Oh yeah, like what did they do? They did.
I'm gonna tell you the only one I saw that it was good.
I saw Rocky Horror. I saw.
Oh my god, that was a fucking train wreck.
That was terrible. What else did I see? There was a bunch of them too.
You know what was actually The Wiz was good.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
They did a good job on that, and that was cast like it was like David Allen Greer as the lion.
Yeah, I guess like Glee did that too, like a smaller exception because they would have their main cast, but they would bring in they did what's her Miley Cyrus was in it, the fucking Sound of Music, right?
That wasn't Miley Cyrus.
Or who was?
It was Carrie Underwood.
Oh, that yeah.
And that we watched that, and Lisa was just like, oh, that's like one of Lisa's favorites.
It's some of those words like you're asking a lot by making a great movie or musical and just shrinking it down for a smaller time.
I had never
with
seen...
commercials too, so it's even less time than
Well, you need commercials in a live setting like that, costume changes and shit.
Yeah, I know, but like you're cutting scenes.
Hairspray. Did you see that?
I didn't see Hairspray.
Well, I never seen the Hairspray musical in general. Have you?
The actual musical?
Yeah, like the movie. Like they made a movie of the musical.
I've seen the movie.
The original movie's great. It's fucking, it's John Waters. It's fucking great.
Oh, there's also another one too with.
That's the musical with John Travolta.
Okay, there's another one.
But when Lisa and I first
because there's
meeting,
one
because
there's one with what's his face? What's her face? Ricky Lake.
That's the original.
Yeah, and then there's another one with John Travolta.
That's the musical.
Wait, what are we talking about here?
Hairspray.
Yeah. Yes.
The John Travolta one is the fucking musical.
The Ricky Lake one's a musical too?
Okay, let me explain. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And you're wrong.
Well, okay. Can't be both.
No, you can't. And I'm going to tell you how.
Go ahead.
There is a lot of that's a very music heavy movie.
Right.
The Ricky Lake, the original John Waters, written, directed, starring Ricky Lake. Yes, very music heavy movie.
Yeah.
The John Travolta one
it's the Broadway
based on the Broadway musical.
Yeah.
That they write. So, like I said, you're right and you're wrong.
Yeah, I get it.
That's the only one Lisa knew.
Okay.
Lisa didn't know the John Waters one, so I made her watch the John Waters one at one point.
I think it's a great movie.
Oh, it's fucking great. It's Poppy John Waters.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah.
You need, I think he kind of did the Ben Affleck thing. You do your Poppy film, you do your art film. I saw this a lot as a kid.
I've
HBO
seen this.
showed it all the time.
Guess how many times I've watched this movie?
Since they made you watch it?
Yeah.
How many? 5?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You watched it that many times?
I watched it once where I was like, okay, cool. And then I fell asleep towards the end. I'm like, okay. Watched it from the end to where I left off to the end. I'm like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, I gotta decorate the tree. Let's watch this bitch one more time. And then I was just like, okay, cool. And then I'm rearranging the kitchen. And I'm like, let's watch it again. And then it was just it was just one of those movies. I still have not watched Mixed Nuts, which is my Christmas movie.
Yeah, so he has the meeting, about his
Christmas Carol. Yeah, and he got Bobcat
gets fired.
Dude, he is such a great actor.
Bobcat, he directs. You know that, right?
Oh, I don't care about his directing.
Oh,
but
no.
his acting is so good.
Have you ever seen...
He's dead, though, right?
No, Bobcat's still alive.
Really?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? Oh, who was that guy? The trench coat, and he screams a lot.
You're thinking of Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison.
Bobcat sounds like this. Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison.
Yeah. Bobcat was also played a Bobcat in a cartoon, right? Did he?
Or are you talking about that TV show where he introduced other cartoons?
Yeah.
He directed Shakes the Clown.
I don't know that.
You've never seen Shakes the Clown?
No, it sounds inappropriate. It sounds like Vulgar, the clown.
No.
Remember Vulgar?
I remember Vulgar, bitch.
Yeah.
He also directed a movie called World's Greatest Dad. It's a really fucked up movie, but it's really hard to watch because Robin Williams is in it. He was really good friends with Robin Williams.
Oh, okay. I can see.
So what it's about is Robin Williams is like this writer and he's a teacher. And he's like, people love him at the school and everything, but his son is a fucking asshole. Like a hardcore fucking asshole. So his son accidentally kills himself.
Oh my god.
And he gets back home and he finds his son dead, and to save his son from embarrassment, because his son's an asshole to everybody, but to save his son from embarrassment, he writes this really nice suicide letter for him, and then he's like, oh hey, I found my son, I went out and I found my son dead, and this is the letter that he wrote.
Okay.
And everybody thinks his son, it was like this great writer,
and it's
his writing, and he starts getting pissed off because everybody starts praising him and everything for all of his writing and things. And he goes, but he was a fucking asshole. And it's a really good Robin Williams it's a great Robin Williams performance.
He was also in a little movie called Police Academy 2.
I know. We We talked about that.
Did we?
I think you're also forgetting about the horse classic,
Hot to Trot. It's right.
Here, I'll tell you a funny story about Hot to Trot.
Should we watch it? I've never seen it.
No, it's not good. But I was 5 years old.
Hold on. Before you continue on, the poster has a man's head mounted onto like a plaque on the wall.
It's Dabney Coleman.
And then also you got Bobcat just leaning on the table like a secretary would. And then you got holding a bunch of apples, and then you got the horse in a suit with his hand down Bobcat's pants.
Here's my Hot to Trot story. My mom wanted to go see A Fish Called Wanda, and I wanted and I was really and Hot to Trot was the other movie that was playing.
Uh-huh.
And we went with a bunch of people, and they all wanted to go see A Fish Called Wanda. So we went and saw A Fish Called Wanda, but I was really upset that we didn't see Hot to Trot. John Candy is the voice of the horse. That's why.
We should watch it. Oh, I'll watch it.
Watch it without you. You can watch it and you can tell me what you think. Danny Elfman does the music, by the way.
Sounds like a classic.
And they filmed it in Santa Clarita. We are talking way too much about Hot to Trot.
I had no idea this existed. I'm down for this.
You enjoy that, bro,
But Bobcat as the yes man of the boardroom, great.
Yeah,
I thought he was such a great little not like Weasley, but like just a little just sniffling like little character, and I think it was so great, especially his voice was perfect for that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's like a squeaky little guy, just like it fits so well, and then he fired him, and then they throw him away. But I like how Bill Murray is like, "What is this? What is this?" And he goes, "Oh, it's a drawing of my child that did Santa Claus." I'm like, "How many fingers do people have?" He goes, "Like 10." He goes, "What does he have? What does he have 11?" Grabs it and just crumples it and does it fuck off. But like Bill Murray, as a businessman, I see him as a
first off
charitable, great man. Giving people towels, like
is that what businessmen are actually like legit? Because I don't really work with a lot of businessmen.
I've worked for this company for a while. Mm-hmm. Back in its
heyday,
early days when I was like a young mail clerk, it was 100% this. It was very strict and very like shirt and tie, very like if there was a woman who walked into the office wearing a skirt with no pantyhose, they would ask you to come back when you're more appropriate. Like it was a very like businessy like attired type of a situation, and so but everybody would be kind of shitty with each other, and it was kind of like whatever. But I get the same vibe from like that to this. Yeah. But he ends up let's talk about that first fucking ghost.
Oh, David Johanssen?
Yeah.
Or his alias.
What's his alias?
Well, you know who David Johanssen is, don't you?
No.
David Johanssen was in the New York Dolls.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
His alias, after a while, he didn't want to be known as David Johanssen of the New York Dolls.
Because he has a different name as the ghost.
Oh, I know. He changed it in the 80s when he started singing different songs. Buster Poindexter?
I don't know who you're talking about.
He sings this little ditty.
Like,
no, you're talking about when the Marley equivalent, where he puts him over the...
Yeah, but I like when he grabs him, and he pushes him through the glass, and then half his arm is like through the glass or whatever, and you see Bill freaking out, and he's like, "What?" And then he starts grabbing at his arm, but as he's grabbing at his arm, it's like chunks of his flesh are falling out, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then he pulls the whole fucking arm off, and you get fucking just cackling, and you see him just landing to the ground. I'm like, dude, this is too intense. You know what I mean?
Well, he even says so. Like, he's so worried about his image, he's worried about that being a suicide.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. But I thought it was really good, and especially I don't know, this whole great because Bill Murray is aware of what's gonna happen. He's like, three ghosts are gonna pop up? Like he's aware that the ghosts are coming. He's like, and even are you the ghost of Christmas? Like, because he knows the story. He's filming the production of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool that it's like happening. And especially I like the parts where like they interject what's going to happen to him or what's happening with him to what's happening in the play, and they'll be acting out a certain scene, like where he meets Claire, and he's like, oh, like, you know, it's like how he shoos her away, and then like they're doing the narrating of like the scene of the play. It was like, or he walks in, like, you know, it's like, and he let the love of his life go on. He yells at the cast members, you know.
Yeah.
But I like how like it intertwines with like everything that's going on. Bill's on his way out because they have this young
other guy,
slime ball, this slime ball from Hollywood. Like the way Bill just says words, it makes me just fucking just love it. When he says slime ball, I'm like, oh, that, you know what I mean? Like, he has a way of, he just carries his lines so well.
Him and early Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
with like Caddyshack.
I'm up through, I would say up through Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Because that whole scene at the end.
But like this movie, like I dug it. Well, especially with the Ghost of Christmas Past, or like my favorite part with him was like they traveled to when Bill Murray was like playing like the Barney equivalent of like, but he was like the dog.
Yeah.
He's like, you got a present. What's the present? And he goes, it's a bone, you lucky dog. Yeah. Oh, he was so good. But that's the guy who I thought was like the Tom Waits for a second.
I mean,
kind of looks.
Kinda?
Yeah.
Because it's Buster Poindexter?
Yeah. But that was dope. And then especially like how like he goes back to see his like
him as a kid,
and then like him watching TV, and then like his mom smoking with the baby, which is his little brother.
Yeah.
And
which is his real brother, which is Bill Murray's real brother.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah, that's
James.
That's
his character's name was James.
Yeah. So that's the brother that was, because there's like
I've heard stories about Bill Murray's brother, but I had no idea who he was.
Oh, dude, first off, there's a shit ton of Bill Murray brothers, by the way. Okay, there's a shit ton of Murrays. Four of the Murrays are actors. Bill. Brian Doyle.
Okay.
The one that was in Caddyshack, the one that plays his dad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's his brother also.
Did we talk about that? We did not talk about that.
Yes. We've had to at one point.
We must. Okay.
And then, because
we had to.
Yeah. And then John, I think that's John, is the one that plays the one that plays his brother in this one is John. And he was in a movie that they used to show on Channel 11 all the time called Moving Violations.
Yes.
You remember Moving Violations?
Yeah.
Where it was wasn't Stacey Keach the bad guy in that?
Yeah. And
it was the whole
they were played on Saturdays.
Yes. Yeah. And like when you were sick, that's the movie you watched.
Yeah.
There's something else on. But it was like like in that same vein as Police Academy.
Yeah.
And the Moving Violations.
Wow, dude. Okay.
But yeah, he was in that, and then, what's the other brother's name? I can't think. Okay, remember on Dharma and Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the friend for Greg?
Oh, vaguely.
Kind of bigger one.
Yeah.
That's the other Murray brother.
Jesus. Okay.
He's in this too. He pops up in this somewhere too.
Yeah.
I think all four of the Murray.
He was probably one of the bums.
No.
I'm trying to think of.
Because the bums were the guy that's in Bonnie and Clyde. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah.
That's the one that gets frozen at the end.
Yeah.
And then it's Anna Ramsey, who was the Ma Fratelli.
Yeah.
And then that other guy was her husband, actually.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
But she died shortly after this movie.
Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, this is good that she did this role then.
Yeah. Because
she was good. I like because they came all drunk, like, oh, do us the line of blah, blah, blah. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
But, that's dope. I had no idea that was his real brother.
Yeah.
But, like, I like that whole thing, too, where, like, Scrooge and his brother, like, in the play is very much, like,
Fred.
They seem so opposite. You know what I mean? And so, like,
well,
how are you even related when you're so whatever?
Foil. That's what they need that foil for. You know what? Going back real quick.
But in this one, though, I believe that there was a line at the end that got me. I'm like, oh my god.
That whole speech, dude. As a child, I'm just like, all right. But as a grown up, I'm like, fucking, why can't I be like that fucking Bill Murray at the end of the movie?
Oh, what it is, because like it has to do like with like the watching this visually, like there's like the fire where he's being burnt alive, like that one that clicked to me in weird ways because my brother died in a fire, so it's kind of like, oh, like, so it was weird seeing it, but like, and then like quickly after that scene, like he had the picture, he held the picture of his brothers.
Because that one homeless guy fucking freezes to death, and then it goes to him burning to death at the end. Well, not burning to death, but like
being set on fire, like the opposite.
Fire, yeah.
So is this Dante's Inferno that you're talking about?
I'm just saying. Just kind of a opposite. Yeah. But
like once he's on fire, quickly it jumps into like him like taking over controls of the camera of the studio, and he has the photo frame that his brother gave to him, where it says like, you know, like you're the best big brother or whatever, little brother.
Yeah.
Whatever. As soon as he pulled it up,
he's like, I'm not.
Yeah, as soon as he pulled it up and he was talking to the camera, I was like, look at this. My brother gave this to me. My little baby brother gave. As soon as he said my little baby brother, dude, I got teary eyed. I'm like, oh man, I could not handle it. It was too much. But like,
yeah,
it's a really good movie. Like, and yeah, like I like it because it goes from a very stern, like rude, kind of mean movie, and it just bleeds into this like breaking of a heart, like a melting of a heart into like what it is, which I think is a Christmas Carol story. Like that's the evolution of Scrooge that you don't really see, because you see it always like kind of slowly breaking apart. But I feel like Bill did it such a great way where like he even pushed back, because when he saw his mother leaving, going for that walk, and he was in tears. And the Ghost of Christmas Past is like, look at you. You're already in tears. Like I told you, like waterfalls. He goes, no. He goes, I'm just crying over the great gift my father gave me of veal, which is like a $50 veal these days in this market. Like, I'm like, damn, he's so good. Because he's so, like, stubborn in his ways. But, man, like, he was good. And then especially the Ghost of Christmas Present, especially when she used to beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And then
stop hitting me.
Yeah. She plugs his ears when like he's watching his brother play the. No,
because he didn't tell him his present.
Yeah, and then she plugs his ears like la 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 la, and she goes, "I know something you don't know. I know something you don't know." And he's being a little bitch, and then he goes, "Oh look, a toaster!" And she just fucking like clocks him with the toaster through the chin, like. Oh, she's so funny. She's honestly one of my favorite actors, because she was also
Carol Kane?
Yeah.
Carol Kane's great. She was on...
She's gone crazy, though.
Has she?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think she's like...
I just saw her on... in the last couple of years,
she's on a Kimmy's
she was also Mrs. Cobblepot on Gotham.
Oh, yeah. But I hear, like, something about her that she's very, like... I don't know. She's become, like, more mean or more crueler, like, in her, like... stuff. I don't remember. Something that she's gone like a little fucking like batshit crazy. But yeah, no, she's great. And because I the first time I saw her and I loved her was in
Taxi.
No, fuck yeah, she is in that too.
Yeah.
No, I saw her in Trans-76 5000.
That's the first time you saw her.
Yeah, because she was the maid with that goofy dude. I forget the guy's name. But then we get to see Grace, which is Bill Murray's assistant.
Yes.
And which, I love that scene. Like,
that whole, like, their house. Like,
yeah, and then, like, you get to see where she's at, and yeah, she's got a shitty boss, but, like, and then I like the fact, too, where she was, like, the daughter's like, hey, I could have taken the subway, and she goes, no, I don't want you taking the subway at night. Like, you can see that she's a very, like, she's got a hard job, and she does her job really well, and she works really hard for whatever, but she's doing it for her family, and you could see the family there, and it's like an extensive family too. So yeah. She's cool. Like her mom's there, her kids are there. Unfortunately, her husband passed away, and you see the little boy that they have who hasn't talked since then
because he got shot, or he watched the dad get shot or something.
Yeah, and then so you're like, damn, this sucks. And then I love how they set up the whole like Tiny Tim with him, because he was like. He's even watching movies, and every time, like, the God bless us, everyone, he's, like, literally there kind of showing you that he's watching it, because he's the one who, like, sees it at the end and then tells them that God bless you, everyone. That's, I think, the only thing that bugged me about that movie.
Why?
Was, like, the very, very, very end, after he gave his big old speech, and he's all happy, and he's kissing his, like, everybody and his ex-girlfriend is out back, and like he's like kind of there, and like this is like how it should be. Christmas should be every day. Loved it. Loved that whole thing. And then but even the little kid's like, God bless everyone, but he whispers it. I'm like, but like, I feel like Bill Murray should have said it. Yeah, like, you know, God bless us everyone, but he doesn't say it.
Well, that's supposed to be that kid. That's the moment that they have in the story. They have to.
Yeah,
put their own spin on it.
Yeah, I get it, but I feel like that's like I felt like it was.
I'm okay with that.
But even then, I was like, wait, okay. So where he lost me at his big speech at the end about Christmas and everything, he's like coming to the realization on camera, and that's great. And like he's so good at just kind of just like, yeah, and this and this and this and this, and then at one part, I feel like he's just yelling to yell because I don't feel like he really feels what he's saying for like maybe like 2 or 3 lines. I'm like, that just seems like you're just yelling. Are you gonna cry, or what are you doing right now? Like, it seemed like a weird take.
I bet you what they did was they just let Bill Murray go off.
Yeah.
And just kind of ad-lib with everybody there.
Yeah.
And then just pieced it together.
Yeah, because I feel like that was like an add-on or like a cut a take that they shouldn't have grabbed. Maybe it was the best lighting, so they used it. But it was like that maybe 2 or 3 lines that he says. I'm like, that just seems so off compared to all the heart that's in everything else. But I mean, like everything else kind of hides it well. But I like how like he's like, mistletoe. That's like a federal law. Get over here and starts kissing her. Yeah. And he makes everything. He goes, thanks, babe. But there's a real woman out there. When they go back to the brother, like I do like that whole like,
they're playing.
I know something you don't know, and then like they're playing that whole thing, and then like it's what was the ship that took Gilligan to the island?
The SS Minnow.
Yeah, you were wrong. It's such a fun, revealing. You see moments, and you're just kind of like rush through because like it takes place in like just one day, and it feels like it's a few days, but it's just all one day, just because he's traveling back in time and whatever. When he sees Claire, and he tells her like he's like there and he's with like the homeless people.
Like
he's a selfish dude. He's like
he's still that asshole.
He's still that asshole. He's still selfish, and you can't really take that away from him. And even though when like he's getting something that like he should have her in his life, but he's still that he's not broken yet to have her yet. So like. Because he even, like, the people was like, oh, we need the fuses and we still need the turkey. And he goes, well, you're big girls. You're very big girls. Can't you just handle it? And then, like, they get all offended. And then he goes, no, I got it. And, like, the fact that he's not listening to her, he's not respecting the people around them and respecting what she's doing. These are his choices. And it's like, nobody's views but his views is correct. And, like, it's like that, like, and that's exactly, like, I don't know. I really felt like this is a really great adaptation of like the whole Christmas Carol. Like,
yeah, it changes it, but it still keeps to the story, but it makes it its own.
Yeah, and then like the ghosts are all cool. Like I like it, and then
Christmas features are good. That's a great way to do the Christmas features.
Plus, I love how they introduced 2 Christmas features. You know what I mean? Because as soon as like he snaps, he's like, "I don't want you here. Take me." He goes like. All right, Frank, let's have you go upstairs. This is just the costume. And then, but later on, you have that fake out with the... Even when Frank... I'm jumping all over the place. But in the beginning of the movie, when, like, the Ghost of Christmas Present is supposed to show up, they tell him it's going to be at noon, and he has that little nervous breakdown because basically the president of the company or the network is, like...
Robert Mitchum, by the way.
Yeah, is trying to get rid of Frank because he feels like he's fucking up too much because... His original ad for A Christmas Carol was like guns and nuclear bombs and like some old lady died. Yeah. And then so he got this new like slime ball from Hollywood to come over to like kind of like make it better for everybody.
Yeah.
And then so they're having a lunch to kind of like ease this transaction that like he's gonna come in and help you, but overall he's gonna push him out and become the new
take over his spot.
Yeah. But like the fact that like it's now like noon and he's freaking out, he's looking all over the place. I like how they didn't do it just all in one night and then it was like, you know, like it could have been like a fever dream and then like boom, it's Christmas morning, everything's better. But rather it's like it's throughout the day. But Bill Murray starts to see things that aren't really there, because the waiter brings him the water and there's an eyeball floating on it. And he's like freaking out. He's like, ah! And then he thinks like the waiter is the ghost of Christmas past. He goes, "Is it you? Are you the one?" And he goes, "Are you him?" And he goes, "Are you he?" Because he's correcting his grammar. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this fucking bitch. But then you get the waiter that's fucking like on fire and he's screaming like, ah, that's the Bake Alaska. You don't want that, sir. Like he was like, then he's like, and he finally gets up and grabs like the champagne like bucket, but like he's seen the waiter like being burnt alive in flames, and then but no one else sees it, and he throws the water in his face, and then Bill Murray realizes like, oh no, you weren't on fire. He goes, I thought you were Richard Pryor. And he takes off. Like, there's tons of little like funny little moments about this whole thing. So how old were you when you first saw this movie?
10ish. Because it was on TV a lot.
Did you like it, or did you kind of like were?
I liked it. I used to watch it, which is weird because I didn't like a lot of horror as a kid. I feel like
this is like because this would have scared me. This would have scared me.
I was trying to get the kids to watch it, but they didn't want to watch it with me.
I feel like it's too scary.
But you know, I don't know why it didn't really scare. I think because I knew the story. Okay. You know what I mean? I knew the scariest thing in that story would be
the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, and that didn't scare me.
Ooh, did you ever see the Jim Carrey Christmas Story?
No.
I fucking loved it.
Is that one good too? It's on Disney.
Fucking loved it. You should watch it.
You know what? Have you seen?
Because Jim Carrey plays all three ghosts.
Okay, and he plays Scrooge too. Right? Yeah. Have you seen the one that Guy Pearce did last year? Where it's the guy Stephen DeKnight, the guy who did no, not Stephen DeKnight. But it's fucked up.
Oh, I don't think I've seen like horror versions of.
This isn't even really a horror version of it. Like, it's just fucked. Like this. Okay. Scrooge is a bit of a horror version. I would call it a horror comedy.
Yeah, this would be more horror.
I would say it's borderline horror comedy, but it's horror comedy.
Yeah, because
I mean, it's ghosts.
Marley is
dead,
but he's grotesque looking.
Yeah, I would call this a horror comedy. Yeah,
but the other ghosts of Christmas, they're all fine. The ghost of Christmas Future is like the only one where like, holy crap, because when he pulls out whatever. Yeah. But I do like at the very end when they sing the song, which makes me like wish to watch this movie like in a theater, because especially at the very end, because Bill Murray is like singing the song. The people on the right, let's see the people on the right. Okay, the people on the left. All right, all the men. All right, all the real men. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be in a theater and have that like be a thing. You know what I mean? Because I figure this is people love this movie. I love this movie. Mm-hmm. Now that I know it, like if I'm in a movie theater, I would totally sing along at the very end.
Is this gonna be one of your go-tos?
I think so. I really do. This is a really good movie. It's like
not trying to replace Mixed Nuts. Mixed Nuts is fucking great.
Love it.
Do you own it? Is that how you get to watch it, or do you watch?
I had a VHS copy for a long time, but it finally
streaming on it. I haven't seen Mixed Nuts in a good. I don't think I've seen it since
I own it on
Amazon.
I think Amazon or Vudu. But yeah, I watch it every year. It's a slow, just like fucked up situation story, and it's Christmas, and like everyone like you get people being cast out because you get the Lee Schreiber as the
Rita Wilson.
In the I think they refer to him as a tranny.
Probably it was
because it was back in the day, but like Adam Sandler in it. I don't know. It's just like it's such a just dumb good little movie, and then like you get the fighting couple, and she's pregnant, and it might not even be his, and then like at the very end, and then there's the Seaside Strangler filmed in Venice. Yeah, and then so like you got like all the sand snowmans and like
a lot of people don't like that movie though. I don't know why. Like it didn't
Mixed Nuts.
Not don't like it, but like. It didn't do well.
I don't think it did well because watching it, I just like it. I really like it. That's why I think I have there's two things growing up that I knew that I liked Steve Martin. I think I must have seen like him with the arrow in his head. That
you know where you saw it at? I can tell you exactly where you saw it at because I saw it at the same place.
Where?
Muppet Babies.
Oh yeah, dude, that was on Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember seeing that, and then I remember knowing, watching this movie, loving it, and then saw and knew that he worked at the magic shop at Disney, and Father of the Bride. That was all my Steve Martin like knowledge.
You know, he was at the Birdcage.
He was at Knott's at the Birdcage?
He was at the Birdcage.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a picture of him on the wall. This is a good fucking movie.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really great. I don't know. Maybe it's over the years I've really become a Christmas like fanatic.
You would slowly. I can say that slowly because you always had shit up in your house.
I've always had random stuff like, especially my Christmas tree would be like, I'd put random shit on the tree. Like there's the Beavis and Butthead's on there. The Peter and the Fighting Chicken are on there.
My tree has a John McClane pop-up, Funko Pop on
that's
the top
dope.
of the tree.
That's right.
I've also got a Spider-Man wearing a Christmas sweater.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I've got a Christmas Rocket Raccoon. That was me.
And then, yeah, because like with me, it's like I would just put random shit. Like I would see something, I'm like, yeah, let's put that on the tree, or like whatever. And then I'll buy like random like toys and I'll spray paint them one color and just throw them on the tree. Like fuck it, like whatever. So the tree's always full of just random knickknacks.
Yeah.
Because I figured I'm bored, I get to like look at it throughout like the whole month of December. But yeah, but slowly I just started like just.
Well, you had that Darth Vader on there for a long time. Too.
Yeah, and then like I found him because I couldn't find him at all. But then right now I have a black Santa Claus climbing a ladder. Well, my mom got him because I think she wanted a Mexican Santa Claus, but it's a black Santa Claus. I just overall like I started getting like trees for like work. I started wearing more stupid hats and like I got a shit ton of ugly sweaters and like
I try to get a Christmas shirt a year because I've got like t-shirts that I can wear that I'll wear out like like when I go out.
Like, I don't know, like when it comes to Christmas movies, like I was like never like it could give rat's ass about them. But now I look forward to watching them. But I only watch them.
I'm over Home Alone at this point.
Yeah.
And plus Johnny's like way into it. But here's the thing, Johnny's way into it, but someone on YouTube like remade it stupid.
What do you mean?
Like they just remade it. They just like try to remake it with like their family. And just change it like to like their stuff, but they just remade Home Alone.
Yeah.
And he watches it, and I'm like, dude, you can fucking watch the real one.
Yeah.
Try to get them to watch Gremlins. They weren't having any of that.
I like that movie. It's really.
I hadn't seen it forever.
That's
I'm gonna bust out all the Christmas movies that week. I usually do Elf. I'll do Christmas Story.
Oh.
I do Die Hard. Which I think this is the year I introduced Die Hard to the children.
Oh, that'd be dope. That's a good one.
Mickey's Christmas Carol. Like I think I'm gonna bust out all my Grinch. I've watched Charlie Brown 2 or 3 times already because Johnny likes it, and it's on Apple TV.
My coworker just saw The Christmas Story for the first time.
I don't think my kids have really paid attention to it, so I'm gonna. Emily's at the age where she kind of pays attention to things.
Yeah.
Now.
I saw the movie. I don't know the pronunciation of it. Haxan. Haxan. I think it's pronounced Hickson.
Okay.
Because it's a Finnish movie.
Okay.
It's a 1922 silent film about witches, the history of witches.
Okay.
Dude, it holds up.
Really?
It holds up.
What you watching on TCM?
Yeah, it's amazing because they have this Silent Sunday.
They have Silent Sunday. Here's what they do. You're right. They have Silent Sunday, but they know what they have on Saturday night, and they replay it again Sunday morning.
What's that?
Noir movies.
Oh, really?
Noir Alley.
Oh, okay.
And they showed like 2 noir movies at the night, but they'll show it like at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, perfect.
At TCM, and then if you go by there, like if you go back in there, I say by Sunday morning. There's always noir. So there's always noir.
That's
on TCM.
rad. That's super rad.
But they have Silent Sundays as well.
Yeah. So this one, it's like it talks about like starts off with ancient Egypt. There's a lot of just like word cards.
Yeah.
So you're kind of reading through it. Then it leads into like this dramatization of what you just read, and it is chilling. Like how like they have the devil in there, and he's made out of paper mache, and he's just.
So they made a devil, or is it a guy in a devil?
It's a guy in a devil suit. and like or double paper mache, and then like there's goblins, and then there's like witches with their tits out, and they're stomping on crosses, and they're doing different things, and then just the visuals of it is fucking awesome. And then the color tint on it too, because the one I saw was a 2007 remastering of it. Yeah. So they used the same orchestra music that they had at the premiere, and they had the same color tints for every.
Oh, so they just kind of they fixed it.
Yeah, but man, there was a part where like there's this goblin, and he's like on top of this hill, and he's just kind of crouched down in this weird position, and then there's like a barn owl next to him, and you just see the silhouette of the two of them, and you see the witches take flight, and it's just like
it's creepy as shit.
It is creepy, but man, and then there's like child sacrificing. They have this newborn baby that they just like rip up, and they bleed it into this cauldron, and the devils and the goblins dance, the devil laughs. It's fucking creepy, but man, is it really good. It is for 1922. It's
Dude,
I mean that's
movie,
shocking as shit, because you're showing full on baby sacrificing.
It's finished though, right?
Yeah,
that's probably
man, dude, it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like I liked it a lot.
I watched the New Mutants.
The new what did you think?
Did you see it?
I did see it.
I was okay with it.
I was okay.
Not the best X-Men movie, but it wasn't horrible.
No, it wasn't bad. I feel like it was more a TV movie than it was an actual movie.
Like that fucking what's his face? Is David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury movie?
Yeah. Right? Didn't you feel that way? Because I feel like the story's a little kind of short, a little kind of, but.
I thought it was fun, dude. I like that movie better than that Dark Phoenix movie.
Okay.
Did you see the Dark Phoenix movie?
I did see it. Yeah.
Did you like that better than this or no? I thought it was fun, dude. There was some fun shit in that.
Yeah, it was good.
Plus the replacements. Partway through. You know the replacements.
Yeah, no, but I thought it was pretty good too, because on like I felt like they tried to shoehorn a lesbian scene in there.
Okay, you always are.
What is this, Buffy? Is this Xena warrior princess? I'm sorry, is your name Gabrielle? Do you have a staff?
Why is that a big deal for you? Do you have any attachments to those characters at all? Do you have any attachment to Wolfsbane? Or
I do.
Or I forgot what the other character's name was. But do you have any attachment to Wolfsbane?
I do. Check out this tattoo right here.
Do you know anybody past 1995 that has any type of attachment to Wolfsbane?
No, not at all.
So what's the big deal?
No, I just felt like it was like
That would be saying the same. Okay, but
this is what I felt like. I felt like the writing of it was cool, but I felt like they needed something edgy to make it better.
They're just
and they're like,
I don't think
let's help out the young lesbians.
That's not. But it's fucking 2020. It's not edgy anymore.
Let's try to fit in the.
It's not okay. Then I'm gonna get to the next thing that I watched. Also,
young lesbians at Hot Topic. Let's see what they'll buy.
Let me tell you about the next thing that I watched. That you're gonna say the same shit. The new Saved by the Bell.
I haven't seen it.
I started it.
I didn't even know there was a new Saved by the Bell.
There's a new Saved by the Bell. It's Zach's kid and Jesse's kid is there. And
is Zach and Jesse? Those two had a baby?
No.
Oh, they're children.
No. So here's what it is. Zach Morris is the
Zach
governor.
Morris is trash.
That guy's working on the show. They got that guy on the show.
That's
He's
cool.
working on it. But so that's why they haven't made any more Zach Morris's trash videos. He's working on the show with him, and he has a podcast. That podcast, he works on it with Zach. He works on it with Mark Paul Gosselaar. But Zach Morris is the governor of California, and they had to, and through some like budget error, they had to close down some of the schools. So they're busing in like inner city kids and like kids from like shitty areas.
Jesse's kids?
No. So I'll get there.
Oh, so they're busting in kids from Vegas from his show, from Jesse's Showgirls.
God, shut the
things.
fuck up.
Into like
so kids that live in like bad areas, they're having them go to the other schools, like the better schools in the area.
AC Slater's like son.
Nope, AC Slater
daughter.
is nope. AC Slater is okay. So AC
Screech's daughter. Is there a girl Screech?
There's not a girl Screech. Let me get there. Okay, so there is AC Slater's still there. He's the coach of the football team. He's the coach of Bayside. He's on there. Jesse's on it. She's the guidance counselor. So they're on pretty much like every episode. Like,
is there a lot of like, oh, we used to fuck?
There's a mention of there's a mention where he was like talking about how he goes, I got this whole list of girls I made out with, and he goes, you're on here, and it's talking about it. He goes, on second thought, this is probably a creepy thing to kind of carry around. There's some like good, like it's a really good satire and parody, but it does it kind of does.
It modernizes the show.
So partway through, they're all like, "Oh yeah, this one girl's like, oh yeah, we did this show where I transed," and I'm like, "What? Are they just shoehorning this in?" No, that person who plays the girl was a boy on Disney stuff at one point, and now she's trans and she's on this show, and it's like a legit thing they have in this show. So they're kind of trying to hit everything.
I'll make this really clear for you, Forrest. I'm not against trans.
I know you're not, but you always get upset.
I'm upset with cheap writing.
It's not cheap writing, though. How is it cheap writing?
Because not this. This sounds fine. This sounds normal, and I'm on board.
So how come that's cheap, but it's not? It's
because it's not. They're not taking established characters with long backstories and then swapping around for a carpet muncher for Hot Topic money.
First off, what backstory does Wolfsbane have anymore, dude? This isn't 1993, dude. X-Men aren't the thing right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
No.
Fox would say otherwise if they were still in charge.
No, they wouldn't, because they delayed the movie 5
First off, don't
years.
say carpet muncher. It's offensive.
I didn't say carpet muncher. You did. I said it now to be like, you said that shit, not me. But like, what's the difference? What is the difference at all?
You're taking a brand new character and you're establishing a random, full, in-depth background to someone who already has a full in-depth background, and then just being like,
But I've told
gay.
you that, but I brought that up to you about
gay stamp. Bump up.
But I brought that up to you about Iceman, how they're doing that in the comics.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
You told me you were okay with it when I brought it up to you.
You probably explained it in a great manner that I agreed with it, but now I don't like it.
You're such a piece of But yeah, I don't have any problem with that. It's not. They're not big enough characters for that to make a difference, but it's big enough for someone to. It's not big enough to make a difference, but it's enough for someone who doesn't have that type of representation.
So how much nudity is in this new Saved by the Bell?
There's none. It's a fucking teenager show.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. One movie I did see though, and I finally saw was Bill and Ted 3.
Oh, okay. How close were you to the actual story? You're close. Right on.
Like I told Lisa, I'm like, I've guessed this whole movie. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, look, I'll tell you what I got right.
Yeah.
But I knew, like I said, the things that the way those jokes had to go. But I was happy I got some things wrong, because I did get some things wrong.
I barely remember.
What was it that I'm trying to remember what I got wrong, because I watched it a couple weeks back.
I'm not a fan of how the daughters.
I knew that was going to happen.
Kind of like, no, well, that I knew, but like how they went back in time to like.
You don't like how that was fun. They have to go on their.
But they have to. But I felt like it was like when Bill and Ted went back in time, we got to experience that whole thing. And I felt like this was like.
So you want more time in that?
Yeah, because I felt like those characters weren't really developed.
So you felt like they can give it another half hour and develop all that rather than like the little bit they do. And
yeah, because we're following Bill and Ted, and that's great.
It may have been budget constraint, because I think that would be my complaint too about the movie, is that I would like to see that story, and you can have them both going and
have two stories going,
but them going to like see their future selves was fucking hilarious.
No,
that
for
was
sure.
Great.
No, yeah, it was
and
great.
they go to that house and it's Dave Grohl's.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
They have this fake British accents. Oh, don't you know?
Yeah.
I thought all of it was great. I actually really enjoyed it. The daughters is the only thing I have a problem with, because it wasn't fully developed. Even their characters seemed a little kind of like obnoxiously like vapid, and not just like
they were vapid. See, you just think women are just the worst people in the world. I
demand strong female characters, not just like half-assed written characters.
But what was it strong about?
There's a part where they're like, the blonde one, Thea. He actually refers.
No, Thea.
Yeah, but in real life.
Okay. First off, no. What you're doing is, remember, Bill named his child Ted, and Ted named his child Bill.
Yeah.
So it's Thea. You said the blonde haired one.
Yeah.
Which would be
Yeah, but in real life,
I know the girl. Yes, I know
refers to like
I understand.
himself. I forget what.
They're themselves.
Or no, it's
itself. Itself or themself or.
Yeah, she non-traditional. Yeah,
non-binary is the word.
No, thank you. And
itself, themself. I don't think it's itself.
Itself's not offensive.
Itself is like, oh, so I'm a thing. No, I think it's themself is what it is.
Themself. Okay. So I'm trying to use that type of verbiage in like normal dialogue, and it comes out weird in my head.
Yeah, it does. It's going to because it's 2020. Everything's weird and fucked up. So just go with it.
There is a scene where like you could tell the cue from the director is like just rock out, and you could see her going just like and like playing her air guitar super high to like the neck, and then just kind of just prancing around, and it was like, which is like awkward because like, okay, cool, like you show off how well they are music knowledge and how they're playing with music and how they just like different sounds, and they're like, great, but I need more of that, or I need more interaction, like saying like, ooh, you know what would complement this person, ooh, let's go see that person, and then like lead that adventure through music back to pull it together, because they just found random people and then threw them together.
No, they knew the people. They hint at it.
No, but it wasn't. Nothing like I needed more reason why it would work or why this would be a good person, or you know what I mean? How this band would like.
I think
that's where I feel like it's
actually one of the few movies I felt that was too short and could have used a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like the daughters needed more development, and that's it. Like other than that, I thought it was a good movie. It was. It's not because they're women. It's just like the writers were just. It's a Bill and Ted movie, so they had to focus on Bill and Ted and get their story completed. Wow.
I also watched a movie, an '80s movie off of Shudder called Dead Heat.
Dead Heat. Okay.
It's about Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams.
What?
And they are cops in Los Angeles, and they are investigating some deaths. And then they're talking about like bringing people back, like zombies and stuff. And then Treat Williams dies in this room where they euthanize dogs.
Is it zombies or just ghouls and necromancy?
They consider them zombies.
Okay.
And so then Treat Williams dies in this room, and then it kind of turns into like a cop story. Like it kind of like the first 15 minutes is almost like beat for beat, almost Loaded Weapon 1.
Okay.
Because they were using the same. So a lot of, it seems like they were using that as a reference for the way it looks. Because like if you watch it, you're like, oh, this very much looks like Loaded. I mean, I know that was just a parody on all the buddy cop movies, and that's what this is. And then partway through, so he's dying and he's deteriorating. Treat Williams is, and he only has a certain amount of time before he'll just turn into a puddle.
So it's just like Little Women. Go ahead.
Yes. and then partway through, Joe Piscopo dies, and then they have to go and they have to fight, and then Vincent Price shows up out of nowhere.
Of course.
Yeah, it was insane, but kind of fun.
It sounds cool.
I'm reading a comic right now called The Last Ronin.
A comic. Okay. There's a lot of these, so which one is this one that you're reading?
It's a Ninja Turtles story.
Okay.
3 of the Ninja Turtles are dead at the beginning of this. You don't know which 3. And one of them's alive, and he's going through and still going
Do you know who it is?
Like,
Want me to tell you who it is?
I know who it is. Okay. They tell you at the end of the first issue which one it is. They don't. I wish they would have hit it.
It's sad.
What is it?
It's Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I did know that.
Did you know this, or are you just like...
No, that I knew that.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that's who it would be. With as dark as that story was going to be, there's no way you can have either the three serious ones in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets fucking dark. Like, he's about to kill himself at one point.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
No, someone was telling me about it. I'm like, oh, like...
It's fucking good, though.
Yeah.
I'm only read issue 1.
Have you read the one with the 5th turtle?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
And then I watched... Have you ever seen Train to Busan?
No.
You haven't seen Train to Busan?
No.
Train to Busan is a zombie movie on a train. Most of it takes place on a train. It's so good.
Okay.
It's fun. I watched it on Easter.
Is it better than Cooties or worse than Cooties?
Oh, much better than Cooties. Cooties is a pile of shit.
Cooties is a great movie.
Anyway. So, Train to Busan.
Dual wheel wheels.
Okay.
Dual wheel wheels.
We don't need to quote that movie.
Go ahead.
So Train to Busan's great. So they made a sequel, and I'm like, oh, this looks like it's going to be great. And it looks like they're going to do it on a boat for 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh, I'd like to see the zombie version of this movie, which is good as the first one was. And then they get off the boat, and it's not good.
Oh.
I was disappointed, but so I'm like, oh, that sucks. Train to Busan is still good. And I was like, oh, but someone was like, oh, you should watch #Alive, which is
#Alive.
So what it is there's this guy is in he wakes up like later in the afternoon and he goes to play video games, and then as he gets over to do so, they're all like, all the people online are like, hey, you should check out your TV right now, something's going on, and all these zombies start attacking, and he's in like 8 floors up in his apartment, and all of his family's gone, they've left.
Okay.
And so it's him trying to, stay alive in his apartment. And then, like, partway through the movie, he sees somebody's alive across the way. A girl's alive across the way.
Uh-huh. And
he and the girl start trying to, like, what they're going to do to escape.
Okay, that's cool.
And I'm like, this looks like a much, because the zombies are kind of the same in this movie that they are, as they are in Train to Busan. I'm like, this is a much better sequel to this movie. So... I enjoyed that. And then, have you been watching any of the Marvel 616 documentary on...
Marvel 616?
They're doing mini documentaries about parts of Marvel.
No, I had no
idea.
I've
seen 2.
Is this
they
on
did one about
Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. They did one about Japanese Spider-Man.
Ooh, okay.
And they've done one about the women of Marvel. And there's a bunch of other ones on there that I haven't watched yet, that I haven't gone through and seen yet. But there's like 6 or 7 of them. Maybe 8 that are like all about Marvel.
That's cool.
And just little parts of Marvel. There's one with Paul Scheer in it. Or Paul Scheer, there's one of them, I think.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, go check out Marvel 616. And have you caught up on the Mandalorian yet?
What was the last episode?
With Ahsoka?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it doesn't ruin anything because it's called The Jedi, so you know that that's who they're gonna
Yeah, okay, so I saw everything up to that.
All right, so
and then
we'll talk about the Mandalorian. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I saw the the show True Blood. So this has to do with a young woman.
I know what True Blood is. I think
in Louisiana.
Had you not watched it before?
I have seen it. I read the books when I was working as a lone night clerk at a hotel. I used to
down by the river.
Down by the river. Actually, it was down the street from the river.
I know.
But yeah, I started watching the show and I never finished it. And so this time I picked up right where I left off. And what do you remember about the show?
I didn't watch the show. I know here's what I know about the show.
Okay, go ahead.
I know they filmed part of the show in the bar. It was in Long Beach for a couple seasons.
Alex's bar.
At Alex's bar.
Yeah.
I know Anna Paquin was on it. I know one of the Skarsgårds are on it. And I know I heard it kind of goes off the rails a bit partway through.
Okay.
Like those books do, and so does the show. But
yeah.
when it's a kind of a crazy concept, and I know that they were drinking the True Blood because it's supposed to kind of keep them at bay.
Right.
Kind of like that movie we watched, the when we were talking about the Monster Club, where it's like, oh, the canned stuff is just all right.
What was the name of that movie?
That was Monster Club.
So Monster Club is the movie about, what was it, 1970s?
It was the 80s.
Or the 80s, but it was the movie where Vincent Price and Kermit the Frog have that parody with the fangs pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then it goes into like this like breeding sequences of monsters and what monsters fuck what, and it was at first it was like, cool, I get it when vampires fuck werewolves, blah blah blah, and then it goes into a fucking in-depth 15-minute conversation about mucks and like other bullshit.
Is that what they do on? Is that what True Blood was?
No.
It was nothing like that.
It was nothing like that. But so the show was I remember I was way into the show, and it was because Anne Paquin was there with her pack twins, and I was like, "This is a great show." Watching it now, there is a lot of unnecessary nudity in that show. Just straight, just titties and ass and just like man ass, and then like especially season 3, it's they introduced the concept of werewolves, and it's just dudes just dropping their pants and shaping into werewolves before you see like.
Well, they didn't want to ruin their clothes, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, it's weird and like okay, cool, but then like if you drink the blood of a vampire, basically that allure, that attractionness that you have for the vampire kind of grows. But they make this into more a sexual thing because this one guy ends up drinking the vampire's blood to like save himself. And like then he has all these like fantasies about like making out and having sex with the vampire, and it's like it's a little much. It's a little much as a, like, but I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, I now kind of have an idea why I stopped watching it.
Oh, did you just get to a part of it and you're just like, man.
It's just like I don't like nudity is cool.
Titties are great, but
it's a bit much. Next week we're watching Love Actually.
Oh, great.
Hold on to your butts. It's a Christmas movie. It's actually really good.
I doubt it. It's the same guy who did Yesterday. I know that.
Yeah. So
I have a feeling I'm not going to
actually, I really like this movie. No, you're going to love it. It's good.
Lisa watches it, and I don't. So she'll get to watch that with me. And then be really upset when I make fun of it.
It's going to be really good. You're going to love it. You really are going to love it. Next week.
Well, that's going to do it for the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up at our Instagram.
At YHBlankThat.
Or you can email us at yhblankthat@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.